Hello guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. In this video I am going to talk about how to trade penny stocks and make a lot of money. Alright? By the way, I am a random guy on YouTube, so before you make any trading decisions, please make sure you do your own research, okay? Alright, so with that being said, let's begin. So I am going to give you some tips before I show you a real life example of a stock I traded today and make a good amount of money. All right, so tip number one, only invest money that you don't need now. Okay, all right guys, so the reason why you don't want to put money that you need now is because penny stocks are very volatile, and if you are not careful, or if you are just learning now, you should not put a lot of money, because you might end up like this guy with empty pockets, with no money, and that sucks. Tip number two, get a really good stock screener. For example, I use Finbiz and I pay the membership so I can see real life data. Alright? Third, get a good broker. Some of the best brokers are Ameritrade, E-Trade, Lightspeed. I even sometimes use Robinhood, sometimes, okay? And number four, learn the patterns and have a plan. I am going to talk about the patterns, the most common patterns, but also you have to have a plan, because if you don't, you might lose money. What I mean to have a plan, for example, let's say you jump in, buy a penny stock, and it starts going up and you're like happy, but then suddenly it starts going down. My rule of thumb is if it goes down more than 10%, you sell, you get out. Okay, because if you don't, let's say you could have lost 200 bucks, those 200 bucks could become $1,000 or even $2,000 that you could lose. All right, very important. You gotta know when to cut your losses. All right. So, alright guys, so I am going to tell you some of the most common patterns. So the first one, I call it the morning rocket penny stock. And the reason why I call it that is because at 9:30 the stock will go up and keep going up, and then suddenly, believe it or not, the stock just crashes and goes like this. As you can see here, this is a rocket, and the reason I call this morning rocket stocks is because, as you can see, as a rocket, they go up really fast, really high, and eventually they crash. Then we have another pattern which I notice is when a morning rocket goes up, but then eventually it starts going down, but not that much, and then suddenly it just skyrockets. Sometimes this could be like I call a big bang, because they could go up even 300, 400, even 500%. It's unbelievable. And last but not least, this is the stock I call the last hour rocket. Why? Because around 2:30 or 3, the stock, let's say, it started trading like this. It didn't go up and down that much, but around 2:30 or 3 p.m. suddenly it just goes up really high, really fast. However, the pattern I like the most is the morning rocket stock, because those are more predictable. And then second will be when the morning rocket goes down a little bit and then goes back up. Those are my favorite patterns. Alright guys, so I'm gonna show you the screener I use to find penny stocks that are going really high. So as you can tell here, I use finbiz.com. This is a good screener, and usually you can pay the monthly fee, which is about 40 bucks, or if you prefer, you pay the full amount for the whole year, and I believe it's only about 25, 26 bucks per month when you pay the full amount. So why do you want to pay for this service. The reason why you want to pay for this is because this screener is going to give you live data, like it's going to show you which stocks are going up in the morning really high and fast. So as you can see here, the home screen, they show you the stocks that have been going really high, the biggest losers, the biggest winners, and just an overall data. As you can see, most of the stocks were green today. But what you do once you are on famous.com is you go to the screener. So now that you are on the screener, the first thing I do is, I go through these filters, and usually, a penny stock is about $5 or less, but I don't worry too much about that because I have seen stocks that are $20, $30 that spike really, really high and fast. So I don't put the price as a filter, right? So I go straight to all over here. When you are in all, then you can actually put some information. One of them is I go and check on the volume. So I prefer volumes over 1 million. Okay, alright, and then after that I go to change. So usually I prefer penny stocks that are already up 10% or higher. Alright, and then I also check on the average volume, and I prefer, as I mentioned, over 1 million. Okay, and then of course on the performance bar I also go to today plus 10%. That way that's gonna show me the stocks that are going up the highest. And once you do those, once you fill out those filters, then you can click here on change, and as you can tell, I now see the highest stock with the biggest change, which in this case is Genie, Generic Technologies, and this is actually the stock that I traded today. As you can see, this is a healthcare stock from Australia. The volume is incredible, 321,547,000, and look at the change, 271.24%. Well, right now this is the highest the stock got. It is about 3:05 p.m. so I am not gonna buy it at this point because more than likely it's gonna crash, but I did trade it, this stock, early in the morning around 10:40 a.m. Okay, so this is the first step. You gotta use the screener. That way you can find the best stocks in the morning, and I recommend starting to do that at 9 a.m. or even a little bit before. That way you get an idea on what to trade at 9:30 a.m. Alright, so that's step number one. Alright guys, so I am gonna show you an example trade I made today and made some good money. I traded Generic Technologies Ltd, and as you can see here, around 9:30 it started going up, and I noticed that this stock started going up really quick, but I was not so sure yet, so I kept waiting. So then I noticed it started going down, then back up again. So it was like an up and down situation until I noticed around 10:40 that it just kept going up, and I said, you know what, let me jump in. So I bought it around 10:40 for about 3.84 cents per share. So this is when I got in, and as you can see it kept going up, and then it started going down a little bit, but still it was not under 10%. I think it was up to 8%, and then it started going back up again. That's why I didn't sell. Otherwise I would have sold to cut my losses, but that was not the case. And then as you can see, it kept going up, kept going up. it went down a little bit again, then kept going up, and here is where I noticed that it was a big drop. So at this point here is when it went down more than 10%, and that's when I decided to sell and take my profits, because I thought this was when it was going to start to crash. And pretty much I sold around 12:17 this afternoon, and I sold it for about 6.10 per share. Alright, and then as you can see, it kept going down a little bit more, and then boom, back up again. And it gets even more interesting. As you can see here, it kept going down, but then around 1:08 this afternoon it started going back up again, and look how high it got, 9.72, actually 9.81 per share, and then it started going back down again. So this is kind of like a stock that represents many of my patterns. Here you have the rocket stock, the morning rocket stock. Then you see it went down a little bit, then again it spiked up again, and now it's starting to go down. So let's do some math here. As I told you, I got in around 10:40 and I bought for 3.84. Then when it started going down, I sold for 6.10. So that means I made a profit of 2.26 per share, right? Since I put 2,000 bucks divided by 3.84, that's a total of 520 shares. So if you multiply the 520 shares by the profit I got, which was 2.26, you're gonna get a total of $1,175. Unbelievable, right? Yes, I made that much money in only about an hour and 37 minutes. Wow, incredible. But as you can see, that is possible. But now let's say I didn't follow my rule and just kept the stock, and it kept going up and up, and I sold when it was this high at 9.80. Get your calculators and let's do the math. So if I got in at 3.84 and I got out at 9.80, you get a profit of almost $6 per share, which is actually 5.96 per share. So if you multiply 5.96 times the 520 shares that I bought, that will be a profit of $3,099. Amazing, right guys? Yes, as you can see, it is possible. You just gotta follow the rules, check on the screener, pay attention, keep looking at it, because this is not the type of stock that you buy and then you just go and start eating something or go to the bathroom. No. These are the stocks that you buy and you keep watching and watching and watching, because you don't know the moment that this stock is gonna start going down and crash. Alright, it was a really good day, and as you can tell, I am very happy. Oh yeah guys, so you have an idea of how much money I made today. As you can tell, I prefer 20s and 50s, and yes, this is a total of $1,175. What would you do if you make this much money every day? Comment below. So to show you what I mean by the crash, just look at this. As I show you, once the stocks go up, eventually there is a crash, as you can see here. Look how it went all the way from 9.86 to 5.6. That is a big crash. See what I mean? So that's why when you go in, you get your profit, and when you see it start going down, if it goes down more than 10%, my recommendation is to get out. If you already make profits, you take your profits. If you are losing money, rather to cut your losses at this point, because if you don't, that's what happens, and you will lose a lot of money if you don't sell. Alright, very important. Alright guys, so as you can see, you can make a lot of money trading penny stocks. You just have to have a plan and make sure that you do follow the rules, because if you are like, oh no, I am just gonna wait another 5%, then suddenly that another 5% turns into a 20%, and suddenly that 20% turns into a minus 50%. So you gotta follow the rules and your plan, okay? Also, I would like to mention that you have to check the news, because sometimes based on the news, penny stocks skyrocket. I give you an example. Let's say a company discovered a new treatment for COVID-19, and guess what? More than likely that stock is going to skyrocket that morning. All right, so you always gotta check the news, very important. All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Angelo, and if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, share the video, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss my next video, because it's going to be very interesting, okay? And as always, remember that knowledge is power.